Oh man, Luffy just blocks Straw Hat. He's back! Lucy! No! No! I fucking called it! That motherfucking Oda! He's finally back at the end of the chapter, and it says the last and friggin' Oda says no One Piece next week. That motherfucker! that This has been my live reaction for One Piece chapter 7. No, not 7. Yeah, 789. Stay tuned for the review. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my part of the One Piece review for this week's chapter 789. Now, in this week's chapter, was fairly simple, and it was, and that once again we got more shots of the various characters just pushing the bird cage, and then we transition and we see that Viola's, fighting Doflamingo. Maybe he's mostly holding his own. I mean, he's Doflamingo. He's doing some damage to her, and for the ultimate humiliation, he uses his string fruit to Papata's Rebecca and have her kill. Now, before we actually see the results of that, or if it actually works, we switch once again over to where Gath is, and he basically standing on top of a mountain using his friggin' microphone, doing what any good, fight promoter, commentator would do, and that's pump the crowd up. Get them all pumped up by, talking about Lucy, the Coliseum fight, and everyone like, well, what the hell is he gonna do? And then they were like, well, yeah, he's also known as Straw Hat Luffy, and basically just, gives him his due, saying that he did this, and this, and he promised us this. Basically gets everyone really pumped, and basically out the Doflamingo saying, this is the end of you, this is your execution ground. Luffy's gonna be ready in 10 seconds, and then of course we proceed to go into a countdown where it's like you see things happening. 10, things happen again. 9, things happen. And then we see. I think it was about 2 seconds. Doflamingo decides to use his awakened ability to basically skewer Gats. So he's probably gonna die. I mean, he's a minor character, so, but I mean, nobody major, pretty much nobody who's been given a name so far in this arc has died. So he probably won't die, but he could also die as just a minor character that dies to show how serious this is. Who knows? Then we have, and as of course the countdown continues, you see Luffy getting up, and then we switch over to the Rebecca Doflamingo, where Rebecca is about to attack and most likely kill Viola. But lo and behold, Luffy shows up at the last second and uses his haki on his head in order to not only block Rebecca's sword but break it so she couldn't hurt anybody. And then the chapter ends. That's pretty much what happens. It's just people pushing the birdcage, Gats pumping everyone up, and then Luffy finally recovering at the very end. And there's no One Piece next week. I am thoroughly pissed right now because, I mean, yes, I predicted this was going to happen. I had a feeling. There was just something in the pit of my stomach that felt, oh well, last week's cliffhanger, or the ending of last week's chapter didn't have a big enough cliffhanger, and that's why Oda didn't go and break. He decided to wait another week because he knew that this week would have a huge cliffhanger, and that is Luffy is about to attack Doflamingo. He's about to confront Doflamingo for the last time. So it's just really, really pisses me off because I'm disappointed and angry. yes, I knew this was going to happen, but it doesn't make it hurt any less, you know, because it wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't mind so much if we were getting another chapter next week. But it's the fact that we're not getting another chapter next week, and we have to wait 2 weeks to see Luffy finally kick Doflamingo's ass. That's just insane. I mean, today is June 4th, and since we people who read the scanlations get it on Thursdays, that means, what's it, 2 weeks? That means the 18th is when we'll be expecting to finally get this, chapter where it's like, really. Because I know it's not just going to be, okay, Luffy, next chapter, Doflamingo's going down. I mean, Oda left it on a cliffhanger, so that might obviously means, we've already seen plenty of fighting between the two of them. There is almost literally, oh yeah, and the Coliseum fighters are all starting to, become injured again, and people are the healing that from the Dandy Helions are, wearing off already, which seems odd, but anyway, so this is all just, there's nothing, like, literally, like, there's just, the bird kids can't last, they can't let, the citizens and the people just can't last much longer. They just can't last any longer. Luffy has to end this now, or else there's going to start being death, and Luffy's not going to let that happen. So in the next chapter, him and Doflamingo will go toe to toe, and he'll finally take out Doflamingo, and I will love it because this arc's going to finally be over. But it just pissed me off because I also know that there's plenty. Yes, that means many things because the fallout from this arc is going to be several chapters long because they're going to have to stop to recover, and a little bit of partying, if there's anything left to party with, and we need to find out what happens with Sanji's group. So it's just a lot of things that that are going to happen, and it's going to be, if you thought this arc was all crazy with all the, going back and forth, doing all this, that, and the other, well, the aftermath of such a crazy arc is going to also be crazy. I mean, it's the new world. Of course it's going to be crazy. So, overall, this chapter was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't, overly good. But it just really disappoints me that I have to wait 2 weeks for the conclusion of this fight. We've been waiting for so long, and yes, I should still have the patience, but it's the fact that I know that we got so close and that we're not gonna have a chapter next week. Normally Oda does 3 or 4 chapters, more often 4 chapters before he goes on a break. But he decided this time, I'm gonna do 5 chapters and then go on a break. So it's whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed my review, and see you guys next week.
Hey everybody, what's up? It is time for my half of One Piece. So this chapter, it did a couple different things for us. Number one, it got us Luffy back, of course. Number two, it was kind of interesting because frickin' Rebecca was being forced to kill Viola, which was dark as fuck on Doflamingo's part and effectively Oda's part, and no Sabo versus Burgess this week. It has sort of gone off into obscurity. I wonder, like, is Doflamingo going to get beaten before Burgess? I thought it was going to be something to the effect of the other way around. Though I guess I can see, like, Sabo's not going to lose. If he does, I'm calling bullshit. But if he does, then I can see why Burgess would fall, or at least temporarily lose, to somebody before or after Doflamingo falls, whether he gets killed or incapacitated. Like, obviously, Luffy's not going to kill him, but I think he's going to die. Just saying. Um, so, now everybody seems to be pushing, like, Bartolomeo, like, Coliseum Army, and Zoro, like, they're pushing in opposite directions, so they're, like, trying to keep it away. Excuse me. It looks like the birdcage is just about hitting the flower fields or whatever, the one castle, and then or the Colosseum. Yeah, and then close to the flower fields. So I mean, there's not much progression here. We do get some like a upper limit for Mancherry's power, where like she can only use it once per person. Where it's like she has like this temporary power, like this temporary healing, where once it works, it won't work again. So it does sort of make sense. Gats, I mean, he made the speech, and I mean, whatever. The speech was okay, but I did like the end of it where he's like, um, Doflamingo, you false ruler, Dressrosa will be your gallows. That was awesome. But yeah, the whole Viola and Rebecca thing was very interesting. And I mean, Law's not doing anything. I thought maybe he would do something, maybe, or he would be like a final bastion to save Luffy. But no, he gets up first, which is fine. Um, and really, like the whole thing with she's like Viola's like, close your eyes, Rebecca. Like I'm not going to hate or hold a grudge against you. Um, because she understands that it's not her, it's Doflamingo controlling Rebecca. Um, Rebecca, she gets fucked up so much in this arc. She's such a bad character. I'm sorry. She's just so pathetic. But the second Luffy breaks the sword, tears. Now she was already crying, but that's nothing new for her. Though in this case, I do understand it. Um, I can't imagine being controlled and forced to kill a relative. Uh, that would be quite interesting. Um, but yeah, freaking Luffy comes in and headbutts the sword and breaks it, presumably with Busoshoku Haki on his head. Um, so finally Luffy's here, and the text is like the final gong, and of course there's no chapter next week. So it's like I think basically like the fact this is the final gong obviously means this is finally it for real this time. No going back. Some I mean I hope no going back. This is it. A final round. Somebody's gonna go down and that's gonna be it. Just it. Um so I mean that's honestly it. I don't really as you can probably tell I'm running out of things to say. Um so I mean we could go off and be like, what's gonna happen after this is over? But to be perfectly fair, we've done that so much because that's pretty much all we can talk about right now is like what's gonna happen after this. We've done that. We've talked it to death. So I won't bore you with that stuff. So that's it. This chapter overall was I did like it, but um, it did need to be set up. So there had to be a setup. So I did like it. It was okay. I mean, the thing I liked the most about it, well, were the last like 3 pages, because I thought like just that dark shit with Doflamingo, followed by Luffy being back, um, just kind of made the chapter what it was. So that's it. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you hopefully next week.